Hi, I'm George, the Weather Dad, to take a look at your upcoming very cold weekend and also on into next week and then the week after that, which is Christmas week. And I think you'll be interested to see what the trends are now starting to show for Christmas week itself. But before we get to that, let's take a look at your upcoming weekend, first starting with Friday. And well, what I want you to keep an eye on is that area of purple. Watch how it grows here on Saturday, and it is moving right towards the Midwest. Look what happens here on Sunday. It continues to expand, and with snow on the way, not a lot of it, but we're going to have 2 rounds of snow, which could add up to anywhere between 4 to 8 inches of snow across the Ohio Valley. Well, it is just going to be bitter cold. We could be looking at sub-zero temperatures right here in the Ohio Valley, but certainly up in this area. You're going to see highs possibly on Saturday and Sunday not breaking the 0 mark. So this is some really, really cold air. Now let me take you to Wednesday of next week. Look what happens. The purple pretty much goes away, and we're going to start seeing a nice little warm up now. Normal high temperatures are in the low to mid 40s rather. So when I say warm up, it's going to be significant when it compares to this weekend when temperature highs will probably only be in the teens on Sunday with wind chills possibly below 0. But by next Wednesday, we're going to start seeing a nice little warm up. Now let's jump now to the following Wednesday, which is Christmas Eve. Look what happens here. Cold to the north, but look at all this warm air down in this area, including the Ohio Valley. And right now, I think the warm-up will include next weekend. So we could be looking at some decent traveling conditions across most of the country as long as this warm-up persists. Now, again, this is 2 weeks out, and anything could happen up until that point. Precipitation. Well, this is Friday. We're going to see some snow here in the Ohio Valley. 1 to 4 inches, I think, is going to be a good bet. And it's going to be more of a heavier, wet snow as well. But that's going to be moving off towards the east. Here comes the next batch here on Saturday, and that's going to drop another 1 to 4 inches of snow across the Ohio Valley. See a long area of light snow here, and this is going to move quick. This is what we call an Alberta clipper. A clipper is a fast, very fast going ocean boat, and that's why it's called the clipper, because they start up in Alberta, Canada, and then they race towards the southeast. Where it sets up is where we're going to see the snow. The snow band is only going to be about 100 to 150 miles wide. That's it, with an area of 4 inches in some areas. But this Saturday snow is going to be a fluffy snow because it's going to be so cold. That moves out on Sunday. Sunday is just going to be a very cold day across most of this area. This high pressure system is coming right out of central Canada. In fact, even portions of the Arctic. That's why it's so cold. And that cold front is going to stretch all the way down into the Gulf Coast. Now let's shoot now into Wednesday of next week. Not really much going on. We have some activity off into the Rockies, but other than that, fairly quiet. Now let's jump to Christmas Eve. Once again, this is 2 weeks out. A lot could happen between now and then, but it's looking like there's going to be some precipitation around. And if the temperatures stay fairly warm, then it's going to fall in the form of liquid. But we'll kind of have to keep an eye on this. Again, it's way, way too far out to say for sure this is actually going to happen. But the bottom line is, if it stays warm, it's going to be a wet Christmas. If it gets colder, we could be looking at a white Christmas. But before then, make sure you bundle up, and it is going to be bitter cold over the next couple of days, including your upcoming weekend. I'm George, the Weather Dad.